Hello and welcome to today's lesson. We're going to be working on topics under the Standard 4.3 in 8th grade and also under the Study Island lesson entitled Surface Area, and Volume. So if you're working in either of those two places, this is an excellent place to be. This is part 2 of 2 videos under those topics. And this video is going to focus on the questions that deal with the area of a cross-section and area of irregular figures. So just remember, you want to be taking notes so that you have notes to refer back to when you try these problems in your own, and so you can study from them. And if I ever go too fast, just pause the video, rewind, and get caught back up. And you can always pause at the beginning of the question also, work the question out by yourself, and then watch the video to see if we get the same answer. And if we do, that's great, you know you're doing well. And if not, then you get to find out where you still need to learn, which is great too. So I'm so glad that you're joining us today, and let's go ahead and try out some problems.
This first problem is a problem where they want us to find the area of the cross-section. And it says a rectangular prism with a length of 19 inches, a width of 14 inches, and a height of 8 inches, and its cross-section are shown below. So and then it labels all the dimensions for you, and this gray part is the cross-section. What is the area of the cross-section below? So to find the area of a rectangle, you have to take the length times the width. So they give us 3 numbers. We only need 2 of them, and we're going to multiply those 2 numbers. So you just had to pick them appropriately. So we need to know what the length is. And so this length is going the same direction as this 14, and so they're going to be the same. So it's going to be 14. And then I'm going to need to know the width, which is going the same way as the 8 inches, so my other side is going to be 8. So that means I'm just going to take 14 times 8, and when I do that, that's 112 square inches, which is going to make my final answer B. This next cross-section is of a cylinder, so the cross-section is a circle, and they give us the area formula of the circle, and it tells us the cylinder has a radius of 6 inches and a height of 15 inches, and it shows us the cross-section. And it wants to know what is that area. So the area is pi r squared, so that means I'm going to take pi times the radius squared. Well, they tell us the radius is 6 inches, so it's going to be times 6 squared. Now remember, this isn't 6 times 2, it's 6 squared. So 6 times 6 is 36. And that's going to have a pi times it. And it doesn't tell us to use 3.4, and 36 pi is an answer, so that's going to be my final answer, letter B. So in this problem, it's a triangular prism, and it has a length of 42 millimeters, a width of 37 millimeters, and a height of 11 meters. And its cross-section is shown below this gray area. What is the area of the cross-section below? So they tell us the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So that means I'm going to take 1/2 times the base of this triangle, which is this length right here. And so the side here that's going the same length, same direction as the base of that triangle is 37, so it's going to be times 37 times the height. And so the height of the triangle goes like this. It makes the perpendicular line, which is the same as this 11, which it tells us there is the height. So then it's going to be times 11. So in number 3 here, I'm going to have to take 1/2 of 37, which is 18.5. And then I'm going to have to take that times 11. So that when I work that out, it's going to look like this. 5 times 1 is 5, 8 times 1 is 8, and 1 times 1 is 1. And then I'm going to have to take that other 1 times everything. So it's going to be a 5, 8, and a 1 also. And then I'm going to have to go ahead and add those up. So this is going to be 5. And then it's going to be 13, then 10, and then 2. And then remember, when you multiply with the decimal, you count how many numbers are to the left of the decimals, or the right. And so here, there's 1 to the right, 0 to the right, so that's a total of 1. So that means in my answer, I'm going to have 1 number to the right. So that's going to make my final answer 203.5 millimeters squared, which is letter D. Now we're going to be looking at problems where we're finding areas of irregular figures, so we don't have formulas for them. So to find the areas of these, we're going to have to find the total area, and then we subtract that, so minus the missing piece or pieces. So in this problem, the total area is a trapezoid. And the area formula for trapezoid is 1/2 times the sum of the bases times the height. And the bases are the two sides that are parallel. So here that would be the 9 and the 5. So when I go to find the area of this trapezoid, I'm going to take 1/2 times 9 plus 5. And then the height is how tall it is between those two bases, which is 5 centimeters. And so here I do parentheses first, order of operations. So 9 plus 5 is 14. And then I do multiplication. 1/2 times 14 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35. So that's the area of the whole. So that would be here, this would be a 35. And then I have to find the area of the missing piece. So that's going to be this square in here. To find the area of a square, I take 4 times 4, length times width, which is 16. So that means here I'm going to be taking 35 minus 16, which is going to be 19. And that's going to be my final answer, 19 square centimeters, choice A. So in this problem, we're finding the area of another irregular figure. This one, the diagram shows the walkway surrounding 4 identical square picnic areas. So I know each of these is a square, and they're the same square. If the entire diagram is a square, what is the area in square feet of the walkway? So this whole diagram is also a square, so if that top is 86, then this side is also 86. So to find the area, I'm going to have to take 86 times 86. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 6 times 6 is 36. Write down the 6. Carry the 3. 8 times 6 is 48. Plus the 3 is 51. And then write down my 0. 8 times 6 is 48 again. Carry that 4. 8 times 8 is 64. Plus the 4 is 68. And then I have to go ahead and add those numbers. This is going to be 6, 9, 3, or 13, carry the 1, and 7. So that's the area of the whole. So then I have to find the area of the pieces. So I'm going to find the area of one square first. So that's going to be 25 times 25. So 5 times 5 is 25. Because I'm taking length times width, and the length and the width of the square is 25. And then 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2 is 12. Write down my 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus the 1 is 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that, and that's going to be 625. However, there are 4 of those squares, so I'm going to have to multiply this times 4 to find the total area that's missing. So that's going to be 4 times 5 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8, plus the 2 is 10. And then 6 times 4 is 24, plus the 1 is 25. So that's the total area that's missing. So to finish this problem, I'm going to have to subtract those two. I'm going to take the total area minus the area that's missing. And when I do that, I get 4,896 square feet. So it's going to make my final choice A. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you learned something new.